The dogs and Stingray are coming for you. This is Stephen Ray, aka Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn. Worst defense ever! So without further ado, here is the biggest. Welcome inside another exciting edition of the Stingray Show, everybody. I am your host, Stephen Ray, and as you can see back here behind me, I have a bunch of Mississippi State stuff. So on this edition, we must be talking about the Bulldogs. Here is my co-host, Heath Hopkins. Heath, how are you doing today, my friend?
Stephen, I am doing wonderful. How about you, brother?
I'm doing good, and actually, I've got my handy-dandy cowbell here, and as you can see, the SEC emblem right there. The guy that we're having on the show today was a part of the SEC regular season championship team in baseball back in 2016. Go ahead and tell everybody who we have on the show today.
His freshman year, Stephen, he was the SEC batting champion. His junior year, he had over 100 hits. His senior year, he became the hit king of the Southeastern Conference. He was drafted by the New York Mets, and if I'm not mistaken, he was 4-0 in the Governor's Cup. It was the Mayor's Trophy game when I was in college. But now it's the Governor's Cup. They went undefeated, led by the mayor himself, number 15, Jake Mangum. Jake, how are you tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Gus? Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. Jake, now where are you right now?
West Palm Beach, Florida. Training, getting ready for spring training. It should start. We're here on April 1st, hopefully is the report date. Just getting ready to go for that and training until then. I
got you. So you're training for spring training. What does that detail? Is that a lot of cardio? Is it a lot of ground balls? What are we doing?
Well, down here I'm getting a lot of live at bats. So whenever I get to camp, I'm kind of hopefully a ton of it, live professional at bats in. Just seeing that 95, 98 mile-an-hour fastball, you kind of get used to it after you never really get used to it, but you kind of it starts slowing down a little bit for you. It doesn't look 100 later in the season than it normally would.
So Jake, spring training, it's a mix. It's a lot of practice, a lot of games, a lot of things that most people don't know about. What's going to be a typical day once camp starts for you guys?
Typical days, waking up at 6. I'm hitting the road by 6:30. Get there about 7. Then I'll have an hour to kind of eat breakfast, stretch out, kind of do the routine stuff that I like to do when I get to the place. Go to the weight room, get my stretching in, get any extra, weight movements in. By 8 a.m., we're rolling full speed at practice, whistles blown, and we're rolling, man. We practice for a while, then we typically scrimmage later in the day. We're getting home around 2 o'clock, eat lunch at the facility, and then go to bed early and just do it all over again the next day.
Wow. So if you get any extra work in, it will be after 2 o'clock, right?
That's right. So all extra work's typically done after 2 o'clock or before practice. It's 7 a.m.
Wow.
Well, real quick, let's go back to your playing days. Obviously, I've got a cowbell here that you guys actually won the SEC regular season championship back in 2016. Talk about that for a little bit and tell us how exciting that experience was for you.
It was awesome because it was the old ballpark, and I really did love the old ballpark.
Yeah,
the old Grays are tough to beat, but the new facilities, it's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. But 2016 was awesome just because it was my first year. I was learning. I had a ton of older guys on the team that kind of led the way, and I just listened to them and asked them a ton of questions. They'll let you know. I asked a ton of questions, trying to learn the best I can. But I loved it. We had a good group of guys. Coach Cohen was at the helm, and man, we did it. We swept that last weekend, and it was perfect, man. It was just a fairy tale ending to the end of the regular season. Just hate we couldn't pull it out in the Super Regionals to get to Omaha, because the 2016 team is, in my opinion, one of the best teams to ever play at Mississippi State. We just didn't make it to Omaha.
Yes.
You know, a lot of great teams don't make it to Omaha, but the 2016 team, one day we'll look back and be like, wow, that team was the real deal.
Yes.
Jake, let's fast forward to your senior year. Brother, I felt sorry for you. How much pressure was that chasing that all-time hit record?
It was tough, you know, because in Starkville everybody knows everybody, and everybody's a baseball fan in Starkville. So you go to restaurants, you go anywhere, and people would be bringing it up to you every time. So that was the toughest part. Everyone reminding me of how many hits I was away, when I promised you I knew, because people kept bringing it up. But just happy it was over with by the time it came. It was a really cool day.
Yes.
I was happy, just happy to get it over with, really. But it wasn't the hit I wanted it to be, but it was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing.
You know,
maybe a different day, though, I will say, because my best friend Gardner Minshew got drafted that day, and I wish it would have been different days so we both kind of could have celebrated. But tough deal, though. But it is what it is, and it was a really cool day.
Oh, I didn't know that. You and Gardner Minshew were buddies. How did that come about?
A friend of mine. Yeah, it was crazy. He got drafted the same day I broke the record, so it was kind of cool.
That is cool. How did you guys become friends?
Just grew up together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Jake, I've always wanted to ask you this. If, heaven forbid, if last year was your senior year and the pandemic hit, would you have come back to play one more year to get that SEC hit record, or would you just like, no, my time's done, I'd go?
Yeah, or no, not for the hit record. I would have played 8 years at Mississippi State. Like, it wasn't for the hit record. Yes, I would have come back for 2021. Absolutely, man. I would have played every year that they would let me at State. And that's what I did.
Well, another big game that you guys had, and actually one of the longest when y'all played, I believe it was LSU, went into 17 innings.
That was 2019 senior year. We went into 17 innings. Gunnar Halter got the walk-off hit.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about that for just a minute.
Man, I was glad it was over with. It was way too long. Both teams were ready to get out of there with a win, but it was just one of those games. It's just a baseball game. So 17 innings, and man, it was just glad to be over with at 2:30 in the morning.
Jake, are you a fan of the international rules of putting a guy on second and for extra innings and doing that? Are you a fan of that, or you like it how it is?
No, I like it how it is. I think if you can't decide at 9 innings, just keep playing until you can.
Yes. Well, how do you feel like this year's Mississippi State team will do?
I think this year's team is going to be one of the best teams. They have the potential to just steady the ship. We had a lot going on in 2018. The team wasn't winning. Some of us thought it'd be our last year, so it was kind of like a real morgue feeling in the locker room. But Coach Henderson's ability to steady the ship and just take it one day at a time and let us know that, hey, if you just get better every day, good things will happen. That's what we did. We kept working every day to get better. We wake up every day and do that, good things will happen. Positive things will happen. Senior year, Coach Lemonis comes in with a really old team. And, the thing I respect the most about Coach Lemonis is he didn't come in and try to say, hey, I'm the guy now. Like, you guys, like, he was like, hey, y'all have had success. You just come out of Omaha. I'm going to let you guys lead the way. And I'm going to tell you what I think's best. And he did. We bought in both sides of the older crew on the team and Coach Lemonis kind of bought in together, and we got a great thing going. Coach Lemonis is one of the best recruiters in the country. He's going to get great talent to come in every year, and I really love playing for him. Coach Lemonis is an A-plus guy, and I'm really happy he's the guy that we have as head coach. I know the programs. After I left, I knew the program was in good hands with him. I'm very thankful for each of the head coaches. Each of them did teach me things that I needed in life, not just in baseball, but away from life. You learn a lot. I'm very thankful for those guys. We have a good baseball team.
what pro team are you going to play for this year, and how do you think you guys are going to do in the pros?
I feel prepared for the last year and a half since September 10th, 2019, which was our championship game with Brooklyn Cyclones. I've worked my tail off, and I've made my priorities very straight of what I want to do, and I'm going to follow that. God willing, I'll be healthy this year, and I'm expecting to have a great year. I'm confident about that, and if things don't go well early, I'm going to stick with it. And
Yes.
I'm really excited to get on the baseball field, to say the least, and kind of put all the work I've been doing, to the test. And I can't freaking wait, man. But I don't know what team I'll be on this year.
Right.
I'll be in the Mets organization. But we'll see. Wherever they send me, I just got to go hit. If I hit, play good defense, run the bases well, good things will happen, and that's what I've always done. So we'll see what happens.
Jake, being a young guy trying to work your way up, is there ever that, I don't want to use the word fear, but ever that stigma in the back of your mind, like, hey, I could be traded tonight. I might not be out here tomorrow. Does that ever pop up in your mind?
Yeah. You see all these trade rumors. Yeah. And you see trade rumors, and but I've never really been involved. But it is wild how I've seen some of my very good friends in the organization just out of nowhere. Hey, I'm on a different team now. It happens often. It's part of pro ball. It's but it's part of it. But as far as like getting worried about things in the future, that's out of my control. It's a challenge for me every day to make sure I control what I can control. It's something I don't do well, but I kind of test myself every day to make sure that my priorities are straight. Any anxieties I have, I just throw on the Lord. God's there for me, and I truly believe that He tells us to cast all anxieties on Him. So anytime you're worried and you feel defeated, man, throw that on Him, because at the end of the day, we're all going to, through Him, we're all going to win.
That's right.
So any anxieties I have, I just cast on Him, and I just keep working, man.
Amen.
Hard work beats talent, man. Every day of the week, hard work beats talent. So I do my best to grind every day, and I'm typically in bad moods if I can't. So I'll keep working on that.
Jake, have you had that moment yet during spring training where you come across somebody and you're like, wow, that's, as Ben McDonald said on the show earlier, wow, that's a baseball player there. That guy can play. Have you had that moment yet?
Yeah, in pro ball, yes, I have. I've seen some guys. I'm like, wow, that's Yadier Molina. That's Pete Alonso. He keeps going.
Right.
But starstruck, no. I don't really get starstruck because playing at Mississippi State, that helped a lot. When opening day, senior year in this brand new ballpark, I got Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro, Ron Paul, studs walking around, Hall of Famers walking around. You get used to that, and, so I'm thankful for that. And, so no, I don't really get starstruck, but there's definitely been some people I've seen that's like, whoa, that's him.
Hey, Jake, I'm not asking you to brag on yourself, but back during your SEC playing days at State, what pitcher did you enjoy facing? Like, you couldn't wait to get out in the field and get in the box to face him.
All of them. If you don't want to be in the box and get out the kitchen, you know what I mean? Like every day, I can't wait to get in the box.
Yes.
As far as who I wanted to face the most, it didn't matter. I wanted to face the best, and that's a big reason I went to Mississippi State and to play in the SEC. Every Friday night, I knew I was going to face a dude, and you get better because of that. So every Friday we face some first, second rounder, and every Saturday some draft guy. Every Sunday a guy that has all the talent in the world but hadn't quite figured it out yet. It's a really good team, and the Sunday guy's just nasty. So I mean, it's just part of it, and it don't matter who's around. I'm ready to roll. Any
pitcher ever give you any fits?
I'm sure there was some guys that didn't hit off of well overall, but not really off the top of my head. But there was a ton of pitchers that wasn't fun to face. I'll say that. But not anybody necessarily I can think of off the top of my head to give me fits, but.
And my last question for you is this. Can you kind of tell us what the difference is from going from college to making the jump to the pros?
Patience. That's my big word. Baseball is the one sport that whenever you get drafted, you aren't there yet at all. And I think that that's the big thing that people get a misconception of is baseball is the one sport that once you get that name called in the draft day, it ain't the finish line at all.
Right.
When you get your name called on draft day, it is the starting line. Because I got 1,200 at bats in college, and it's almost like part of pro ball is like pro ball experience. I'm like, man, I got 1,200 at bats in college, like against the best arms of the best. So I know I'm prepared, and I know that. But sometimes you get frustrated because you feel like you're new. You're just young, but
Yes.
I know I have experience, and others would say, oh, he has no experience. But I know I do. I played in the SEC. We faced dudes, man. There's no way around it. Every weekend we were facing guys that were going to pitch for a long time. So the biggest jump really is just patience, man. Especially with COVID, I didn't have a season last year. Just living in the weight room and living in a batting cage for the last year and a half, and finding baseball fields to hit on. It's very hard. You get really frustrated, and like I said earlier, you get anxious.
Yes.
And like I said, the last year and a half, I've relied on God extremely, like so much, just because it's been tough. It's been real tough. But I'm excited. It's almost go time.
Hey, Jake, real quick, your walk-up song by the Outfield, Your Love, how did that all come about?
So in high school, our left fielder, Trace Lovertich, who's one of my best friends, he walked out to it. And I loved it, man. It was the best. It was just a really good tune, and it doesn't get old. It's the best.
No, it doesn't.
And that guitar riff at the very beginning.
Gotcha. Hey, the Outfield, the band, they lost their lead singer this year.
Yeah, he died. He died this year.
Yeah, was that kind of a sad day for you?
Oh, it was just kind of like it was. It just wild, man. Just time's undefeated. It's not going to lose, and you never know when's your last day. So live each day like it's your last. Have a good attitude and be thankful for each day because it's God given.
I got you, Jake. I'm going to ask you for a fun story. What was the funniest thing that happened during your playing days at State?
Dude, we had
on the field or off the field?
We had some clowns on our team, but there ain't no telling, man. There's too many stories that get bundled up in my head. Funniest dude on the team though was Peyton Plumlee. I'd say he was definitely the funniest guy on the team. He always kept it light in the locker room, and we needed that. And he just had a birthday too, so happy late birthday, Plum.
I'm here in Olive Branch, Mississippi right now, so the Plumleys aren't too far away from
Hernando, that's right.
That's actually where I live. It's in Hernando. Tonight I'm just recording here in Olive Branch, but that's funny. But going back to your playing days, what's the one thing you learned the most as a college baseball player?
Control what you can control. Things aren't going to go your way, but the only thing you can control is your attitude and your work ethic. That's the two things you can control when you wake up and before you go to bed. So have a good attitude every day. I struggle with that sometimes. I'm very much guilty of getting in bad moods a lot. But you got to fight that. You got to fight that, and always just keep going. But control what you can control. And that's attitude, and work ethic. Be on the lookout for Gene Wood for TCU. We graduated high school together. He went to 4 years at Alabama, played baseball there, graduated, transferred over to TCU to play his 5th year. COVID hit, so this is his 6th year. We graduated high school together. He's a 6-year senior at TCU. Gene Wood, he's a stud. He needs to play baseball for a long time. I think he can, and hopefully a pro team gives him a shot next year. But Mississippi State fans, be on the lookout for him. He's a Rankin County native out of Mississippi, so obviously. So be on the lookout for him. He's a good dude, great family, and very thankful for my time with him.
Well, Jake, real quick, tell our viewers where they can follow you on social media.
Twitter and Instagram is pretty much the only two things I use.
What's your most exciting moment from the interview there with Jake?
Well, the Plumleys here are a local family. Peyton Plumley's father, Michael, and I grew up down the street from each other. His younger brother, Kevin, we played baseball on the same team ages ago. Matter of fact, I think that was my very first baseball team. So anytime I get to hear a local name, it's always fun. So that for the home reasons, the hometown reasons. But no, to hear Jake talk about his approach at the plate, his mindset, that was really inspiring. And I thought it was funny when I said, "What pitcher do you like to face the most?" And his reply was all of them. So I guess that's why he's the hit king, right? None of us are. That's why Jake's the SEC hit king. This year, I know we've said it on the show with Ben McDonald and everything else. This is going to be the absolute greatest college baseball season ever. Just like Jake's buddy that he went to high school with that plays at TCU now. That's the exact reason. There's so much talent. Yeah, he's a 6-year senior. There's so much talent. He played 4 years at Alabama, had the shortened season last year, and now he gets a 6th year. So he had his redshirt year, played 4, last year got cut short, and now he gets another one. So 6 years. So there's nothing that he hasn't seen before. There's not going to be any kind of moment that's going to intimidate that kind of guy. And he transferred to a new team, and a team that's going to be trying to make a run here for postseason. So that's the thing, is that good teams only got better from the pandemic. Some colleges out west stopped playing college baseball altogether.
Right.
Well, those players are still playing. They went to other schools. So the rosters have only gotten better in college baseball, and 2021 is going to be amazing.
And next Friday, Alabama opens up their season at 3 o'clock on Friday. So I will be there in the stadium. So there will be no Stingray show on Friday. It will be on Thursday.
The Dogs and Stingray are coming for you!
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn.
Worst defense ever!
So without further ado, here is the biggest